I'm sweating. I put the AC on. We'll see how it goes. Hi sexy souls, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kaylee for anyone who's new. I'm so excited to have you here. I was going to go to the gym, but I got my period, so I was like, why not go to Starbucks, treat ourselves to an espresso, and do a little casual car chat with the fam. We are almost at 30,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you so much to all my new subscribers and everyone who's supporting me on here. I know I pump out shorts on here daily, and I freaking love short form content because I do it on Instagram and TikTok. Love it, but I've always been in love with YouTube, so I want to try to put out longer videos for you guys. So I thought we could chat today about some self-care, some springtime self-care. It's almost spring where I am. I live in New England, United States, and tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. Ooh, happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. I hope you tap into your magic and have some fun. I dressed up this morning and made some content. That was really fun. Sexy content, gonna be on OnlyFans. You should subscribe if you haven't already. But no, like, we're going into springtime, and I really put an emphasis on self-care in my life. I want to feel good just like I should, and I want you guys to feel good too. Like, who doesn't want to step into spring, step into summer, feeling as good as possible? Self-care has always been a really big thing for me. The past like 7 years of my life since going through cancer. It started out when I was going through cancer and veganism and all that shit, and what a crazy journey I've been through, and I'd love to share that with you guys, but I feel like now I'm moving into a new phase in my life. I became single in fall of 2021, and since then I've just been really amping up, leveling up my self-care practices and rituals. Even though I've always done them, I feel like I'm now in a phase of my life where I'm truly embodying self and really moving into like a next level in my life. I'm transforming. My goddess within is coming out, you guys, even though she's always been here. I know. Yeah, and I just want to share with you some of the self-care things that I do to make me feel good on a daily basis. Self-care though, guys, like, it's so individualized. What's your Starbucks order? If I'm being naughty, I get 3 to 4 shots of espresso over ice with salted caramel cold foam on top. Oh, it's so good, guys. You need to try it. But if I'm being a good girl, we're not having sugar, then I'm just gonna get a cold brew or some espresso, okay? But we treated ourselves today. I wish Starbucks had more sugar-free options, but they don't. Anyways, this isn't a very thorough video, guys. We're just chatting and chilling. I'm so glad you're here hanging out with me. But yeah, so self-care is so individual. There's endless things that can fall under the umbrella of self-care. That's why I love it so much. But I just want to like tell you some of the things that are super important to me that might help you level up as you step into the spring, as you step into the summer. We want to feel as good as possible. The winter, I think, is a beautiful time to really internally tap in, see where we need to change, what we need to amp up in our self-care in life, what adjustments we might need to make before we step into the spring and summer. So have you been doing that? Do you take time to reflect, go inward, do that extra self-care that you might need in the winter? I'd love to know, guys. Adjusting the seat. So the first thing that I'd love to say with self-care is I think mindset is everything and is like the first component that should be thought of in self-care, and it's probably not something we really think of as self-care, but our mental health, it's number one in my opinion, our mental, emotional, spiritual health, because if that's not... Is my camera shaking? I just had to make sure my camera wasn't shaking, and it might be, but oh wow! All right, but mental health and mindset, I think, is the most important aspect of self-care, because if we don't feel good mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we're not going to want to take care of our body physically. We're not going to want to do the necessary things that help us feel good, that help us level up in every way that we should. So I think getting the mindset right is important, the most important. And some things that I do for my mental health, like my mental health has shifted so much in the past year or two. First, it really started with affirming for me. I went through a spiritual awakening, and I connected to myself and to God in like 2018, 2019. But the power of my mental health didn't really start to shift until like 2020, 2021, when I went through chemo and I started incorporating affirmations into my life to like get through it and to utilize magic and all that stuff within dealing with chemotherapy. But if you can start incorporating affirmations, I'd think, into just your daily routine, your daily ritual, you'd be surprised how much it helps your mindset, because we're reprogramming our mind through affirmations, through thinking positive thoughts 24/7. That's what I do. If anything negative comes in, I don't claim it. I rewrite it basically in my brain to a positive scenario with an affirmation. And literally any thought can be an affirmation, because anything, an affirmation is basically a statement. I love creating them and telling them to you guys, like on Instagram and stuff. It's part of my magic, it's part of my therapy. But anything you say or think can be an affirmation, and it's honestly better if it's personalized to you, because then you're gonna believe it. But I love sharing affirmations with you guys, and totally look on my Instagram if you need inspo for affirmations. But so we want to reprogram our mind, but basically we just want to start thinking more positive thoughts than negative thoughts. I know that can be hard, but it basically just takes training of your mind. So a great way to start is to like wake up in the morning and meditate. I know people don't like meditation, but I personally do this as a huge part of my self-care. I hope my camera's not shaking. Is I wake up in the morning and I take the first 10 to 25 minutes of the morning by, the first thing I do is I take my phone off airplane mode, and I put frequency music on, and I literally just meditate. And that can be meditation without trying to release all my thoughts, or I do affirmation meditations where I think of positive things, or I think of just scenarios of things that I want in my life, or like my dream life, or I tell myself positive thoughts and all that stuff. And that has really changed my life and has shifted my mornings immensely, to really start the morning off like feeling good and staying in the vortex, as Abraham Hicks likes to call it. But personally, that's just something I do. It makes me feel really good. And then I go throughout the rest of the day basically saying affirmations to myself in my head, under my breath. Like, it's literally just my life now, is thinking positive, magical thoughts all the time. But you know, it was a process for me to get here. I'm not saying like that's just gonna be you overnight, but if you take those, it takes an everyday practice, you know. But I want to reiterate that mindset is everything. And if you need help in your life right now, if you're going through depression, if you're going through anything, feel free to message me, but totally consider therapy. I know it might not be for everyone, but there's tons of therapeutic outlets out there rather than just basic therapy. But I'm sure that can be helpful. yeah, so mindset, self-talk, I think it's number one in self-care. And then the second thing I'd say is movement. We want to feel good, guys. Like, I can't get over how going to the gym on a regular basis makes me feel physically, yes, like I feel way hotter and way better in my body, and I'm just at the beginning. But mentally, it's a therapy for me. It's my new favorite therapy is going to the gym, but going to the gym is just one aspect of movement, guys. Like, I do ecstatic dance on the daily too, and stretching, shake break. I hope you guys enjoy my shake breaks. That's only like a small snippet out of my ecstatic dance practice, but movement releases natural dopamine, natural endorphins, natural hormones, and good chemicals in the brain. So we want to move as much as possible. I went through a long time in my life not moving my body, and yeah, I definitely can tell the difference, obviously physically, but really mentally and emotionally as well. But you know, you gotta find a movement practice that you like, and that's what's so cool about movement and exercise and stuff, is like there's literally thousands of things probably that you could do, hundreds of things that you can do that aren't this stereotypical, oh, I have to go to the gym, oh, I have to go running. Like, no, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. You want to like what you do. That's why I say if you don't know where to start with movement or exercise, just start fucking shaking your body at home in your bedroom with some good music on, you know? You can't tell me you're not gonna feel good after dancing around your room by yourself, you know? It feels amazing. And then I bet there's something you've always wanted to try out in life as far as exercise goes, but you haven't yet. So it's never too late to try. There's so many things that I still want to try in life. I really want to try aerial yoga, and I actually like rock climbing, so I might try that again, like go to a rock gym. But I'm really just loving the gym. And I want to encourage you to find a movement practice that you really enjoy and that you think you could stick to, because I can't tell you how much better I feel that I move my body on a daily basis. Ugh. Water. I guess we could move into the third thing, is consumption. What are you consuming on a daily basis? That's a huge thing with self-care. I personally am pretty lax right now with like food intake and stuff, because for my mental and emotional health, it's been super healing for me to not really have to think about food anymore, coming from veganism and sickness and all this craziness. But I eat very intuitively, and I focus on animal-based foods a lot, and hydrating with water all the time, and whatever makes me feel good. That's the thing. We're all so individual. What makes you feel good might not make me feel good. I think for me, the focus is more about what we don't consume rather than what we do consume. I was sober for like 3.5 years from alcohol, but now like I would occasionally have alcohol, but you have to get to the point where it's like, where do you have balance in your life? Because I know what makes me feel bad, and if I know it's gonna make me feel bad, I save it to like a rare occasion for consumption. You know, one of my messages in life lately is, I'm a rarity, not a regular. My angels were telling me that all the time lately. I'm a rarity, not a regular, therefore I can't just consume all the regular stuff 24/7 like some people can. That probably won't make sense to you guys. But if you internally know something isn't good for you and you're doing it anyways, maybe find a new balance with it if you can. If you're not in like an addictive mindset or something, like try to, you know, like, this is a treat drink for me. Like, do things in moderation if you can. I know some people who have addictive mindsets can't do moderation, but for me in my life now, I have such a beautiful balance when it comes to food and consumption in general that like I don't think about it anymore, excuse me, and it feels so freeing and nice to not have to worry about food anymore, because I used to worry about it so much. But we're running 100 miles a minute now with this espresso. But what are you consuming? I would highly recommend looking into that, feeling into that as we go into the spring and summer. What's making you feel good in this moment? What's not making you feel good in this moment? If you know you need to cut back on some stuff, I highly recommend it. But you also, if you don't have that addict mindset and you know you need to completely take something out of your life, just try to find a new balance and maybe do things in moderation. Let's talk about skincare. That's number 4, you guys. Self-care, skincare. I am very, very basic when it comes to skincare. I don't really wear makeup. I have makeup. I think makeup's fun. I'm just really, really lazy when it comes to makeup. I tried to put on a little like eyeshadow this morning. I'm bright red and glowy, so excuse that. But I tried to put on a little eyeshadow this morning when I was dressing up, and I'm like, as soon as I'm done making the content, I'm like, I gotta take it off. I hate it. I wish I didn't. I'm gonna try to like make it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm very minimal with skincare. I'd love to know what you guys do for skincare, but basically on my body, I just put coconut oil on, and then on my face right now, I use rose water. I'm obsessed. I love it. It feels so refreshing and good. And right now for face moisturizer oil, all I use is rose hip oil. And then I have gua sha tools, and I do those every single day. I could totally make a separate skincare video if you guys want, because I can talk about that for a long time. I really think skincare is so important. I'm actually going to be trying out one of my friend's skincare companies that he works for soon. So if I purchase that stuff and make a separate skincare video, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'm very basic with what I put on my skin. I don't like chemicals, all that kind of thing. But I think skincare is super important in self-care, and especially as we go into the spring and summer, like we want to feel silky, we want to feel really good in our skin as we are emerging into the world. Like, who doesn't want to feel good and luscious? And I don't know, I've never had really bad skin. I know some people go through like zits and acne and all that stuff, and that would be really hard. I've never had to deal with that. But yeah, I think skincare is super important in self-care. That's one of my favorite things. And I do skincare every single day, probably twice a day. I do my gua sha tools. I use my gua sha face tools 1 to 2 times a day. Yeah, I'm obsessed with skincare. Super important to me. Another super important self-care thing to me is sleep. I don't care what anyone says. I need at least 8 hours of sleep a day to feel good, to feel my best. Some people, I don't understand how they can do less than that on the regular and feel good. I personally think the more sleep you get, the better it is for your health. But I guess maybe everyone is different a little bit. But how do you feel when you don't get a lot of sleep? Because I know I feel like shit. So sleep is a very important thing to me. Honestly, all winter, I've been going to bed at like 8 o'clock. So go to bed at 8 o'clock. I personally wake up quite a few times in the night, and that's something I still need to like figure out with my sleep. But I need a lot of sleep. I don't know if it's because of going through sickness in the past or whatnot, but I feel so much better with sleep. You look better when you sleep. I think it's one of the most important things in self-care and beauty is sleep, you guys. Like, that is when we are restoring. That is when we are in this deep meditative state and our body gets the chance to actually restore and regenerate. So if you're not sleeping enough, you need to sleep more. Oh my gosh, guys, there's so many things when it comes to self-care, but I just wanted to chat with you a little bit. I haven't done a video in the car before, so that's something I need to get used to, and like I got a little setup, so we'll see how it works out. But I just want to inspire you to take action on things that you know you need to do or you know you want to do to make yourself feel better. Because, you know, if you don't start now, when the fuck are you gonna start taking care of yourself? I mean, I feel like I learned the hard way a lot in life with with things, with health and all that stuff, that I would love to share my journey and share things that I went through to inspire you. Because self-care is one of the most important forefront things in my life now. That was a weird way to say that, but it's one of the most important things in my life is taking care of myself. And I know the more I take care of myself, the better I look, the better I feel, the better I can show up in life. The more I'm taking care of myself, the more I can go after my goals, the more I can help others, the more I succeed in my career, the more I succeed in everything in life, the more I take care of myself. So I really think I know some people are like, self-care, but if you don't have that self-care, if you don't have my health is my wealth, I take care of myself mindset, then, you know, everything else, it doesn't really, for me, I don't succeed in the way I want to at anything else if I'm not taking care of myself properly. I love you so much, and I could talk so much more about self-care, but because we're a little frantic and the period cramps are coming on, this is the call for me to stop and to rest and to go home and chill and take care of myself. So I want to inspire you to take care of yourself today, any little way that you can to make yourself feel good. But if you watch the video this long, you should totally put butterfly emojis in the comments. Put butterfly emojis in the comments if you ended up watching this entire video. And if my camera is still shaking, I'm going to cry. But I love you, sexy souls, so freaking much. And thank you so much for almost 30,000 subscribers on here. I'm so excited to create more content and make beautiful connections with everyone. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.